Hey, it's Kevin Lawton with the New Warehouse Podcast here at MODEX 2020 in Atlanta. We're at the New Warehouse Podcast booth, and I am joined by Don White. He is the CEO of SnapFulfil, and SnapFulfil is a WMS software company, also moving into a little bit of a different space as well, which we'll talk about. I'll let Don give the preview for that. So Don, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
Atlanta's great. MODEX seems like it's the foot traffic here is really good right now. So
Definitely.
We're busy.
Yeah, definitely. We're day 2 here, right? So yesterday, it was a little slow, I would say, but definitely see the pickup today, which is a good thing.
And some companies don't travel Sundays, right? So
Right.
Monday's the travel day, Tuesdays are the bellwether for the success of a show, and it seems like obviously we're busy, right? And we hope the other exhibitors are as well.
Good. So why don't you tell us a little bit about SnapFulfil and what is it that you guys do?
So SnapFulfil is a software as a service or a cloud-hosted warehouse management system.
Okay.
The feature set around it is we compete with some of the tier 1 providers out there. The main differentiator you'll find is a couple of things. One of them is that because software as a service, that model, all customers run the same code, what we have to do is build the software in a way where we can configure according to what customers need rather than write custom code.
Right.
One of the things we pride ourselves on is a very short time to value. So from contract execution through to go live can be as little as 45 days, usually around 60.
Okay.
Even for complex folks, we're talking about 75 to 80 business days.
That's not so bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
definitely. So what are you seeing is, I guess, most requested from customers that they're looking for in a platform?
Warehousing, this weird thing, right, is that from just a theoretical point of view, it's like, I receive things, I put them away, I don't lose them, I pull the right amount and I ship them to the right place.
Right.
We all know that it's a lot more highly complex.
I wish it was that simple.
Right? Yeah. I include people, I include layout, I include product mix, I include service level agreements, I include shippers, carriers, all that other great stuff, right? And what any customer wants and what we see quite often is, I know that warehousing is a fairly standardized industry, but what we do is unique.
Right.
And trying to figure out a tool and design one where we can value that customer's uniqueness while giving them the value proposition of a standardized application across all of our customers.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So now you guys, are also working with customers now, and things are changing, right? So times have changed. There's a lot of automation and technology that's growing. So now, how do you make sure that you're keeping up with that and making sure that your system can now handle and kind of integrate with those different types of technologies?
Well, there's the kind of standard technology answer is, a software as a service company needs to be good at integration because we reside in the cloud and a lot of applications reside on site, right? Or other applications are in the cloud. So, we've built a lot of successful integrations, and we keep our developers up to date on the methods for doing that. We recently partnered with a company named Jitterbit, which is an integration platform as a service, which allows us to go even faster.
Right.
Jitterbit now, as a company, what they do is update their own connectors that are standardized, and we do the mapping and integration process.
Okay.
So it cuts down on the development time. It's a Jitterbit itself prides itself on stability, right? And integration needs to be stable. So that's how we've sort of worked on the machine-to-machine communication problem. But that shift you were talking about in the market is 2 or 3 years ago, you started seeing the first sort of AMR, the automated material robotics, right, going out into the market, and a huge amount of investment capital in there. And folks created some really cool stuff.
Right.
We're at the point now in our life cycle as a warehouse management system company that we're introducing a product named SnapCart. And what we've done with SnapCart is there are lots of standardized parts out there. There's a standardized communication protocol or coding language that goes along with that.
Okay.
And now we've taken, standing on the backs of giants is we've put them together in a new way. And we've got some exceptional coders out there doing things with the software that drives that unit that you don't find anywhere else, right? I was talking to a prospect this morning about the idea of what SnapFulfil is trying to do is take the technology from being a gadget, which looks cool, and you can probably calculate how much it costs and how much you'll save, but what we want to deliver our customers is utility.
Right.
Right. It needs to be useful.
Right.
And we think we've done that. It's a differentiator. So.
Definitely. So now the SnapCart itself right now is prototype, or it's actually launching?
So we have displayed right now. It's sort of the first time in public at a trade show. We've entertained prospects in the UK and US and showed it off individually, but here we're kind of rolling it out. We're looking at prototype number 3 on the floor, and it's the design is probably production ready, right? The actual form fit, and we're still continually working on the software side, right? That's the magic sauce. So it's where we're putting most of our efforts. Our intent here, and one of the things that we're looking for, are early adopter beta customers that are willing to partner with us, right? As a WMS provider, we pride ourselves on finding partners and keeping them as customers. And the same thing needs to apply for hardware, especially during the beta phase, right? Which is, we'll turn it on, you're going to get some value, but our entire job is to figure out how do we tune the software and the hardware to the use cases you have, and then set up 2 or 3 of those pilots and cover as many use cases as we can and attain excellence.
Got it.
And that's what beta testing is, right? It's proof of the technology, but we're going to choose partners that are going to help the product get better. And our intent is to incentivize with that, right? There's good pricing at the other end.
All right. So what is you're unveiling it here at MODEX, right? So what has kind of been the reception from booth visitors? What do they think about the SnapCart?
It's interesting, right? Because one of the things that we have to look for as a vendor is who's the audience we're talking to, right? So there's probably 2 different buckets. There's the folks that are coming in that are being introduced to AMR, and there's a few more vendors out there, so there's more choices to look at. And those folks are interested in that the form fit function is a little different than what they're seeing from other folks out there. But they're also being introduced to the technology, so some of the more complex routines are things we'll introduce to a little more interested or educated customer on AMR behaviors. So, we're getting good feedback from both, right? Most people like cool things with lights, in the warehouse. But when you start talking about, the software and how we're dictating the behavior of the unit is where we start talking to warehouse operations folks about how do I save you that extra 5, 7, 8% of runtime? How do I structure work in a way that makes a person more productive, even though a robot is doing sort of the travel and delivery? So that's what we're seeing here. Is there's some very intricate things we're talking about on the back end and the software, the behaviors that truly differentiate. A great example is SnapFulfil. The intent is to let that unit support cellular picking, which is a picker assigned to a region of the warehouse, and the carts continually come to the picker. Right, and then the picker does their job, and the carts roll away, and then another cart arrives. In warehousing, what ends up happening is we're producing our orders or releasing them for work, and different section of the warehouse, just by virtue of statistics, will see different loads in different sections. So SnapFulfil's alternate behavior is that picker is assigned to a section of the warehouse. They do their picking, the cart moves along to do something else, and we have visibility that now that picker is free to do something else. So if a cart can't arrive, we'll send them to where the next cart is.
Got it.
Right? So we're solving 2 problems, right? In a high-density pick, or sort of e-commerce world, that cart's always running by, and the worker never has to sort of walk around. But what if I had to support an LTL case picking, and or I wanted to do replenishment? Can I send that person to the place, perform value for the company, and then they go back to their assigned location, or they stay there and we start routing them carts, right? So that's to us, that's a little bit of it's a little bit of a differentiator, right? The idea is to figure out how to give you, if you're going to spend money on an AMR, our intent as a company is every dollar you spend is more valuable. Right. So that's the thing we try to deliver. And the technology's cool, but how do we give it to you at a price where your investment starts getting ROI, or the time to value is accelerated for you? Right. That's the best thing we can do for you as a partner.
All right, very interesting stuff. So now how can people go and find out more about SnapFulfil?
So there's a couple things, right? SnapFulfil.com, and the spelling there is 1 L on each side, FULFIL. So SnapFulfil.com/SnapCart, one word. That'll get you into the introduction. Like I said, our role right now is gain feedback on the form fit function that we're describing, and try to identify those early adopters, and that's what we're here searching for, is who wants to partner with us to build the best unit we can put out there.
All right, awesome. So we'll post more information about that on newwarehouse.com as well, and I'll be by the booth to get some photos and video of SnapCart too, and we'll post that along with that too. So thanks so much, Don, for coming on the New Warehouse Podcast, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you.